How are you? Are you well? I know I'm early on my video this week and there is a reason for it. The reason being I'm trying something like a little experiment, if you like. So bear with me. I may not keep to the Thursday uploads, but I may. I don't know. I'm just going to see how it goes. Anyway, first things first. Apologies for how I look today. I do look a right state. I know I do because I've been out for a walk with my dogs already today and it's quite moist outside. That's a funny old word, isn't it? Moist. Anyway. Yeah, so I've been out with my dogs today and it's quite a lot of moisture in the air and it tends to make my hair go frizzy. The joys of having wavy hair. Yeah. So that's nice. Not. Anyway, apologies. So I look a mess and I know this. Sorry about that. Anyway, today's video is about... Sorry, I got itchy eyeball. Today's video is about castles, haunted castles. Now, I was going to do loads of different types of castles of different areas around the world and all of that, and then I thought no, because sometimes you can just go too far on a video, can't you? Do you know what I mean? Now, through my other videos I've noticed that you all prefer my videos to be shorter, which is good. I don't mind that. It's good with me. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and stick at keeping them quite short because I think they're easier to watch, aren't they, when they're shorter? I find it easier to watch a video when it's not as long because nobody wants to sit there and watching someone go waffling on like me for ages, do they? So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing shorter videos and I'm hoping they're going to work. Well, they seem to have been working so far. But anyway, I'm waffling again. I'm waffling. So instead of me waffling, shall we just get on with the video? And shall I just do it? Yes, let's just play the video. Goodness me. Ghosts of Dover Castle, England. This historic castle is the most iconic of all English fortresses. It resides in Dover, Kent, rising above the famous White Cliffs high above the Channel. Built soon after 1066, this fortress has been the site of the royal intrigue and sieges. It was the centre of a crucial effort to excavate hundreds of thousands of Allied troops from the beach of Dunkirk. Dover Castle has a labyrinth of underground tunnels, and thanks to this escape over the sea to the tunnels, as many as 338,000 soldiers were rescued. Having played such an important part in one of the biggest and most terrifying events of World War II, many ghosts seem to have become attached to these large tunnels, where they have continued to roam long after their passing. The air is filled with sounds of banging doors, as if tragic business of war is still being conducted. The site also contains one of Dover's 2 Roman lighthouses, one of only 3 surviving Roman-era lighthouses in the world. And it's also the tallest and most complete standing Roman structures in England. Not only that, it is said to be Britain's oldest standing building. During the reign of Henry II, the castle began to take shape. The inner and outer bailies and the Great Keep belong to this time. From 1179 to 1188, the king spent over £6,500 on the castle, which was an enormous sum back then. During the First Barons' War in 1216, a group of rebel barons invited a future Louis VIII of France to come and take the English crown. He had success breaching the walls, but he was unable to take the castle. The vulnerable north gate that had been breached in the siege was converted into an underground complex, and the new gates built into the outer wall on western and eastern sides. During the siege, the English defenders tunnelled outwards and attacked the French. Massive rebuilding took place at the end of the 18th century during the Napoleonic Wars. More recently, the castle has been used for many filming productions in TV series such as Doctor Who. Also, theatrical releases such as Lady Jane, Hamlet, and most recently Avengers Age of Ultron in 2015. It's not a shock to discover, though, that the castle is haunted, with all the wars and the historic events that have taken place here. Apparently, a ghost of a little drummer boy called Sean Flynn is thought to haunt the castle grounds. He was said to have been murdered whilst carrying out an errand involving a substantial amount of money. His murderers were thought to be two soldiers who grabbed his purse and then they decapitated him with a sword. Visitors and staff have heard the sound of slow, mournful drumming in the castle at night, and some have seen the decapitated figure of the boy wandering along the battlements. In the old keep, an apparition of a woman in a red dress has been seen, and also a 17th century cavalier. He has been seen in several locations around the keep, even in broad daylight. He wears a wide-brimmed black hat, a long purple cloak, and his flowing locks and twirling moustache match perfectly the dress of royalists from this time. He does not shy away from confronting witnesses, but he never seems to threaten them. He just passes by and vanishes. Upstairs in the king's bedroom, the lower half of a man floats through the walls. Who knows why this poor soul has only a half a body? There in the secret underground tunnels, you might spot ghosts of World War II soldiers going about their duties. It's said that the screams of help are being believed to be heard, believing that to be of the soldiers. Disembodied voices have been heard during the night, and doors have been seen opening and closing on their own, along with sudden drops in temperature. On tours of the castle, it is said that one visitor fell down, and when he got up, he was asked if he was okay. He replied that he would have been okay if someone didn't just walk through him. One camera crew heard a scream coming from the battlements above, like someone had jumped to their death. When the screaming stopped, nobody was found on the ground or anywhere around. Some people have seen a man walk through the metal-plated door, which was bolted with multiple locks. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly presences near windows and stairways in Dover Castle. So, if you're ever in the gorgeous county of Kent, do go and visit Dover Castle, because you won't regret it. It's a perfect haunting ground for ghostly apparitions, and you never know, you may experience something yourself. Glamis Castle, Scotland. Glamis Castle in Scotland has all the features of a haunted house, with its looming towers amongst its beauty. It seems as though it was built for ghosts and ghouls. The castle has been home to the Bowes-Lyon family for more than 6 centuries, with the most famous member of the family being the Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth, the wife of King George VI, who was born at Glamis. Well before her time though, sinister goings-on in the castle made their mark on the place. The ghost of a silently screaming woman with no tongue has been seen in the grounds on many occasions, pointing to her wounded face. It's said that she stumbled upon the ghastly secrets of the castle, the story that could never be told. A secret that members of the family are sworn to keep forever. So, did this poor soul tell someone, or threaten to spill the secret and have her tongue cut out? Who knows? I wouldn't want to bump into her though, would you? What I wonder though, is what is this terrible secret of Glamis Castle? Well, apparently, it's told to each heir when he becomes of age, and we can only take a stab in the dark of a guess of what it might be. But as it was horrific enough to cut out a woman's tongue, I'm not sure if I want to know. But back in 1904, just before the 13th Earl of Strathmore died, he apparently confided in a friend that it was so horrifying that if he knew, he would get down on his knees and give thanks that it was not his secret. That's not all though, because the most famous ghost of the castle is Earl Beardy, or Alexander Lindsay, 4th Earl of Crawford. This medieval knight roams the castle in full armour, mostly appearing at the bedsides of children and shouting obscenities that can be heard by anyone unfortunate enough to be staying nearby. Those poor children must have been terrified out of their wits. By all accounts, he was a really nasty character who was heavily into drinking and gambling, and the story goes that one evening he was drunk and he shouted for someone to come join him in a game of cards. So a tall gentleman appeared and agreed to join him for a game, and they retired to another room, shut the door and played all night. One of the servants was looking through the keyhole and was blinded in one eye by a bright light as she ran away. The next morning, the Earl was dead. The other man, who was believed now to be the devil, had gone, taking with him the soul of the Earl. Now, some nights, the ghost of the Earl is heard screaming and shouting behind closed doors, while apparently gambling on for eternity. Now, that's not all though. Oh no, we have something else. The Monster of Glamis. One of the most famous legends connected with Glamis Castle is the monster. Apparently, a hideously deformed child born to the family. Some accounts came from a singer and a composer, Virginia Gabriel, who stayed at the castle in 1870. The story goes that the monster was kept in the castle all his life, and his suite of rooms were bricked up after his death. Another monster is supposed to have been in a lock cowder near the castle. The alternative version to the legend is that every generation of the family, a vampire child is born and also walled up in that room. There is an old story that guests staying at Glamis once hung towels from the windows of every room in hope to find the room that was the bricked up suite of the monster. When they looked at it from outside, several windows were apparently towelless, though this is probably more likely due to the owners removing them so that guests would not find those rooms. In 1034, Malcolm II was mortally wounded in a nearby battle and taken to the Royal Hunting Lodge, which sat at the site of the present castle, where he died. Also, a young black boy, the ghost of a servant who was badly treated around 200 years ago, haunts a stone seat by the door of the Queen's bedroom. The ghost of Lady Janet Douglas, the lady of the house in 1537, has been seen in the chapel by many people who are saying their prayers. The story given to visitors by castle tour guides states that one seat in the chapel is always reserved for the White Lady, thought to be Janet Douglas, Lady Glamis. According to the guides, the chapel is still used regularly for family functions, but no one is allowed to sit in that seat. So, if you're ever in Angus in Scotland, would you dare to go and see if you can come across any of the spooky ghosts at the castle? I definitely would. Well, I hope you liked it. That's it. It's done. It's over. It's done. And we're finished here. So, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And I hope you kind of learnt something new, and I don't know, I just hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't, too dull for you. And as it's Thursday, I am going to say, have a great Friday tomorrow. Because it's Friday tomorrow. It's Friday tomorrow. And Friday's the best day of the week. Let's face it, because you can go up and you can think to yourself, it's Friday. It's not so bad. The weekend is beginning, so yeah. Have yourself a great Friday tomorrow, and have yourself a great rest of the Thursday today. And next week, you'll have to see. I don't know when I'm going to be uploading next week. I'm going to try this thing probably for a little while, maybe just for a few times, just to see how I get on. All that. But anyway, have yourself a great day, have yourself a wonderful weekend, and look out for any shorts that I may be dropping in the meantime, and not shorts like that. That's just That'd be weird. You know, me just dropping me shorts. Okay. Enough said. Have yourself a great day. Have yourself a great weekend. And I'll see you again next week at some point. Take care. Bye bye.